Hi there, welcome back to Blenderpedia with today a new tutorial on how to create an interior scene in Blender. This is what I created and the final image looks like this. There's a lot of stuff going on and I spent a lot of time creating the curtains and the roof and realistic light, so it's believable. So yeah, there is also electronics and plants and a lot of furniture in this scene. I'm not going deep into that. I'm just telling you the basics of how I created it. It's pretty nice, but don't expect a 3-hour tutorial. That's not. Where I started was I always start with a cube. That's why it's there in the middle when you start with Blender, and make it a rectangle one. And it looks like this. This was the base, and the reason it's so open and not closed is that I want to have it so open as possible, so the light can reflect on everything, and I'm avoiding all the noise because we don't want noise in the scene. And if I close this wall with a lot of stuff on it, and we don't see it, so why should I put it in? It only takes a lot of render time, so think about that when you're doing that. It sounds very logical, but I'm still doing it myself every time. Where do you start when you create an interior scene? Well, what I think is first you need to have an idea where to start. Your own style. And that's what I did with this image. I liked all these old classical parts, these ornaments. So that was the first step. And I like this one. I like the roof, has some nice shapes. And it gives me a very good idea for what I wanted to create. So classical modern was the idea what I had, and I ended up with this image. So with this wood in the wall, what looks to me pretty boring, but it's just what it makes a complete image, and I don't like these clinic white walls. So starting with this rectangle square piece is the first thing you do. So create a cube, make it rectangle, and put holes in it. I hope you know how to do that. If you don't, it's very easy to do it. Just make a cube, make it the size you want to have it, and then putting it in the right position. Duplicate it if you want more holes. One over there. That's what I did. And if you think this is pretty good, then you give it a name, like cutter. And you go to the modifier, make it boolean, or you select your cube, that one, and make it boolean. Then you go to difference and select cutter, and there should be a shape, apply it, and then you have these. That's that's what happened when you're doing it another time. Because there are already holes in it, but that's the way how you do it. That's how you create holes in a cube, and you have this very basic looking scene. But it's a start. This is where things start, and maybe it's important to start displaying my buttons, or else you don't know what I'm doing. Maybe this is a bit bigger. So this is the scene. And the next thing is, I think when you move into a new house, there are already window frames, and there's no floor, but window frames are already there. So that's the next step I'm doing. So these shapes are important to start with. And there is a nice plugin, and I already used it for the exterior scene where it created the office building. I have to activate the plugin. I think the scene is there. Selecting window, it's there, so activating it, and then it should be there by mesh window, and it's always appear with 3 pieces of window. I just want one. I want to have a square size. So I want to make it 190 for both sides, and removing this this sill and make the frame a little bit thinner, like this, and that works out for what I had in my mind. Another very important thing is, you can see this bluish color. This is the gloss. It's automatically generated, I think, for the internal render engine. But yeah, I'm gonna remove it. I don't want it. And big reason is when I'm switching to my final image, there's no window in this one, and you won't really see it. In my opinion, it's believable that there is a window and the sun is shining through it, and yeah, it's really not, but you believe this. So why should you make a window with hard reflections and it's holding all the light in? So we have a lot of noise, and using gloss shaders and you won't see it. It's only problematic. Make it yourself easy, removing it. If you won't see it, be happy with it. So I'm turning it now, maybe turning it the other way because it's a bit messy up. 180, yeah, and I'm putting it where you want it. And do this in the object mode, not in the edit mode. No, do it in the edit mode, not in object mode, if you want to make it bigger or smaller. Because if you scale it like this, you see the measurements are wrong. And very important thing to know and keep in mind. So what is this thing? Oh, it's the wind generator. That's what I use for curtains. So I'm putting it in the right position and right there. And I turn it because I want to have these shapes in my side, so not from this angle. So now we have window frames, and we can Shift D or Alt D. Alt D if you don't change the vertices, and Shift D if you do. Yeah, I'm doing Shift D. It's just I'm getting used to it. 90. It should be pretty good, and this is a pretty different shape because I'm using the other. I have to switch it a bit more. Yep. All right, and put it more into the cube. Right. So this is this is where you start. So when you move in a house, it should look like this. You have window frames, you have concrete floor, white walls, and you have to move in furniture and all your stuff. What I normally do when I move in a new house is I want to have floor in it, because if I don't have it, I put all my furniture in, then I have to remove my furniture and put in my floor. So it's really, I'm doing it exactly the same how I should do it in real life. So creating the floor, here it is. Yeah, just going to the yeah. That's really strange. I made 6 planks. I used this texture. What is not mine is from CG Textures. But I liked it. It was a nice shape. I really like the material. But yeah, use your own texture if you have it. Next time I try to make original one, which you can use for free. This one is from CG Textures. I'm sorry. Yeah, I really like these nails in it, and it has a very rough, it's a rough looking thing. So I put it as a texture on it, and we go to the UV image editor. I think the bump map is there. Don't know why it's displaying the bump map, but yeah, I copied 6 different planks, and then I put them in this shape. So I had this one. This was my original where I started with. There was this, and then I just Alt D. And you should use Alt D and not Shift D, or else you have a lot of vertices in your. Because if you zoom in, these are very high detail planks, and the reason is that I just like that because you can see these holes in it, and the light is making shadows, and it makes a believable image when you come close. If you are very far away from the floor, you can think about projecting an image on a plane and work with a lot of bump mapping or normal mapping, but normal mapping is still not in cycles. I think it's with the next release. It's already there if you go to graphical.org, but for now we have to do it on our own way, and this works pretty well. But yeah, it's a lot of vertices. So doing Alt D and make your own floor till you think it's enough. Alt D and duplicate it, and then you go on till you have this. And it looks pretty good. Yeah, when I go to texture mode, you're only seeing the bump map texture, but the texture looks pretty good. And I'm thinking where my, oh yeah, I should put it in another layer. So, oh, not good. Oh, only this one, and put it right there. And then we go to the floor, and yeah, moving it also. So now ruining my scene, but it doesn't matter. I should be there. So if we put the floor in the scene, it looks already way better. I'm also gonna copy my camera. There you are. To number. This one number. Got a lot of layers in this scene. So right there. So yeah, we have like this. So we have the floor. Put it in the right place, not that it's flying. We have window frames. We have a wall. Next thing to do is creating this wall, the roof. And the roof is, in my scene, very high detail, because I think the roof is the most important thing in the house. This is my opinion. Almost all the living rooms have that white looking, yeah, color, and I think if you make that very high detail with nice lamps, that's tuning looking, but that's just my taste, and I can imagine your taste is pretty different. Yeah, and creating this roof was not really hard. I started creating these pieces of wood with the texture. What I found on CG Textures. This is also not mine. When I go to the texture mode, I'm so activated. There we are. You won't see that one. You see when it's going to another. I'm just transforming it a bit, and then this cut is doing his work. So I was very happy with this texture. And on the bottom, I just used a small piece, only this one. So if we select the whole thing and go to texture mode, you know where I'm talking about. Yeah, it should look like this. Pretty believable. Yeah, and creating this shape is creating a cube, extruding it a bit. If you don't know how to do this, if you're new to Blender, I can imagine that. I have a lot of tutorials where I create some stuff, especially the lake tutorial is where I go well. So you should watch that. Or the exterior scene where I create some models. And then I thought creating some ornaments like these textures, giving that nice classical feeling. So how I did that was, yeah, I started with a plane, and I should give an example. I'm not only telling you what to do, I'm just I did subdivide, because when I extruded it was a bit messy. So we have this piece of shape, and then I scale it. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter, just ignore it. We are in a texture mode. We go to solid. Texture looks like, where is the texture? Like this, and you can see these shapes is going into it. Then we have that flat, and then we have some transformation. And that's what we do. So we're scaling it a bit, and have that depth feeling, we're putting it down, scaling it, extruding it again, and just for fun, put it in upwards, and doing it again, and yeah, doesn't matter, like this, and one more time or two times, a bit smaller, put it back, and yeah, just press F to fill it, and we have this one. And you can smooth it, and we have that really weird looking normal problem. Control N, it's gone. You're putting the normals in the right direction. This should work, and you can project an image on it, like we have, because there are a lot of things what looks like this. I think it's fun. But if you have another one, just try to fit it in that direction, and you can subdivide it a bit if you have these sharp edges, but I think it works out. And there was a problem right there with the with a roof, because I use a double one. Removing it, vertices, yeah. So you can see I made holes in these roof planes, and with a circle in it to make that more integration. This is just a white material with a glossy shader on it, so make it really reflecting, and put a lamp in it, and that gives a nice result in the end. So, and creating that hole was, yeah, you know what to do. Cylinder, making that the right size, put it exactly in the middle, and by doing that is, yeah, just try to put it in the middle. Give it a name, cut or something like that. I have a lot of cuts, so I have to give it that strange name. Go to the boolean, find that one. You go, make the difference, apply it, remove it. So we have one more step to do, is removing that top one, and we have a hole. As I said before, I have these nice circles. Where is it? Well, Shift D. That's giving that nice, so that we don't have that rough cut in the middle. And we put it right there. We have that nice looking thing, and then put a lamp in it, and it looks like light is shining through it. Pretty nice. So that's how I created that roof. So when I activate everything again and we look, so we have these wooden bars with a roof, and spend some time in making your own variation. You can do whatever you want, be way more original than I did, but yeah, do something with it. Just a flat white texture on your yeah, on the roof is very boring. Maybe it looks pretty good, I don't know, but I think it's not. So, and that's the same for the side walls. Leaving that white is, you can do that, but if I go to my inspiration images, I think that guy did the same. It looks really clinical white and makes it less believable. It's photorealistic, because he spent a lot of time in details, but the texture is not really nice. So, and you can change that by using a very simple pattern like this, and projecting that on the wall. So if I select everything and make the UV projection like this with this white image, and that makes yeah, all the little difference. You won't really see it when I go to this image. Yeah, you can see that it's a little bit, maybe I used a bit bump, I don't know, I'm not sure. Yes, I did. So it's not that really white, and you should spend some time on that. Really important learning thing. Then we have these side walls. What I thought that gives some nice variation, and I selecting these two, pressing Shift D. I'm gonna analyze it. What is that stuff? Why I'm using it? I can tell you. So this is it. I found on CG Textures something what looks like this, and then I tweaked it in Photoshop. Like it was I could use it as a texture, because it was really bad. So I don't know if you can use it for free, or I think it's still from CG Textures. So yeah, yes, it's not mine. I'm not saying it's mine, but I tweaked it a lot. So it looks like that. Then I made something that looks the same, and now when I go to the side view, oh, that's why I should rotate it a bit, or way more, like this. Made it exactly 0, but if I make that 0, that other part needs to be 0. It's not going together, right? So I should show you what the background image looks like and how I modeled the open. Yeah, I can move that a bit. Go away. So scaling it. So, and then I duplicated it. This one was to give it more depth, because I feel it was a bit looking fake when I make that opacity, when I make a render, these things are really popping out from the wood. So that's why I made them separate. And the rest, when I just make that flat, I created this model just by starting creating a cube, and then I extrude it a lot of times. I can show you very short how that looks like. So we have this shape. I'm putting you right there. And it goes there. If I talk too fast, sorry for it. Sometimes I have to speed it up a little bit. And I'm starting right here, there. You can see this really easy. It's like there. And then we can see difference, this new shape. Starting like this, smaller. Don't really have a plan. Just when I think yeah, that looks good. We have this shape, and then yeah. Oh, make it transparent so we can like this and this, and make some loop cuts like this so we can make these square things in the middle. What I do is creating this, and this is where you have to pay more attention than I do. Try to make these exactly good, and then this. But what I did, and it's not this, of course, I made a subdivision surface, make that more smooth so we don't have these straight lines that looks totally fake. What I don't like is this ground needs some, oh, not good at all. Right there you go. Apply. So right now we have way more, and you can think, yeah, it needs to be there. Now we get a lot of cuts. Spend attention on this, because now I'm doing it very quick, not nice. Like this. And same with this, if it is far away in the scene, you shouldn't do this, then the image will do the work. But yeah, I like it, so you go, do it for everything. And make these lines and put them right there, I'll put it on, and you have a very nice wall. But yeah, there are thousands of different types, so this is how I did it. Just make your own version and go wild and make that looks great. So back to the house. I'm stripping it a bit. Oh no, it's still there. So then we have the floor. So I'm activating it. Oh yeah, remove that to that's layer. So it's not there anymore. So the floor, the wall, this wooden wall, the roof. Then we have, I spent attention on these window frames, the curtains, and the curtains are pretty funny to create, and it's all about the material and the shaders, what you need to do to make that looks transparent, but also that there is some shadow in. It's a really weird thing to create, and yeah, curtains are hard to understand, but I found out a way to make that believable. I started with copying it just with a plane, and it's not really complicated. You need to know these little steps to create something, and in the beginning you are trying to, wow, how can I create it, and you're trying a lot of different things, and then in the end you think, oh, this works, oh, this looks pretty good, why didn't I think about this earlier? And spent 2 days on curtains and just horrible. So what I'm now doing, I want to have these waves in it, and I can do that by just selecting this. And this is just the way you have to do, and it looks alright. And how more detail you use, how better it looks, of course. But I found out this is a really hard cut. But later on, I'm smoothing it a bit, so you won't see it's looking that right, like this. And then to create it, and this is maybe a strange part, and you think, what are you doing right now? This is for when I use the cloth and want to make I'm telling you later on. So I'm putting a big bag like this, smoothing it, and what I can do is selecting everything as Y, make it a bit more, so we really have these shapes. So yeah, I think make it a bit smaller. We can do. And next thing is subdivide it one more time, and we go to the weight painting, and yes, very quick. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Go to the object mode, and then what's none we have? Oh, it's getting really good. Go to this one, go to clothes, pinning it so it's not falling down, and you're pinning it on the group, and the group is that red stuff we put on and make it self collision, it's reacting on itself. And make this one, because if you just stand it's not doing anything. I can remove, no, yeah, no, just leave it there, because if I animate this, oh, it's okay, it's animating all the curtains in the scene. And I'm just doing this because we don't have the flat looking curtains. Now we have these nice looking, yeah, it's not straight, and that's why I use this cloth. Oh, it's now doing, it's hobbling there, right. Alright, I think this is good. I believe this. So it's not straight. That's what I like. repeating it because it is a very important thing. Yeah, this thing is doing really weird stuff. I'll explain later on why this is doing that. It's the wind simulator, so it's the wind is blowing through the window. It's a really nice effect. So we have this, but we need to put a texture on, and I looked ages for a good texture, and then I find out a very original trick somebody used, and I tried out to improve it a little bit more. What you can do is go to the image, open, and where is it? It's this one. I found it on the internet, this texture, so I don't know if there's a license on it. I think it's just for free, so my responsibility, you can use this for free. Right, don't put it on Google. Right, there we go. So when we go to the texture mode, we have this, and we can make it a bit more bigger. And you think this is a very ugly texture, but the reason is that it gives it a little that transparent look. Like if we go to this image, it looks like yeah, there are holes in the curtain. What is normally what happened? The curtain is very transparent. So, and the next thing is to do is the shading, or should I tell the transparency? And it's a very short notary. You just have that image, there's the diffuse, and I experiment with translucent to sort of absorption. That was a very bad idea. Then I tried transparent, combining that with an add shader, not a mix shader, because that will looks bad, not good. Add shader is the way to go. And then move this to that value right there. Right there. Don't use white, don't use black, but yeah, just there. And the reason why is that it is transparent, so we can see what's behind it. I use that bar. You can see shadow. So this is a double, this is overlapping each other, so it's more dark. And now it's a believable curtain. And if you make it black, it looks like a plastic, thick thing, what is totally not what I wanted. And if you make it white, you won't see the curtain, it's totally transparent. So use a value between it. So that's how I use the curtain, and you can animate it right now by putting some wind machine behind it. But yeah, I leave it with this right there. So it's totally the same right now. And what do we have more? If we go, now it's lagging a bit, go to solid mode, go to won't be frustrating. So this scene, so put some time on the floor, curtains, roof, window frame, but there is more in this scene, like the couch. and the plant. And the plant is pretty cool to explain. So what I do, these are linked, so I go to my plant scene, what I created in this tutorial. Oh, that was not very good. Yeah, most important thing for creating that nature plant is textures. So I walked in this room where I live, and there are some, my girlfriend loves to buy plants, so I ripped them off and I made photos of it and made them transparent. Yeah, that's it, and that looks pretty good. So I have 3 of them, but I have more, and they're all for you for free. Just go wild with plants. I should put some little time on how I created that stuff. So this is two of them, 2 versions. And maybe you think, oh, this is very hard, complicated, a lot of stuff. This is really the most easiest thing in life to create. There we go. So creating this bucket, yeah, I'm not gonna spend time on it. Just use a circle, create it, and I think I only used this diffuse color. You can see this looks not really good, but it works out. This is the bark, and remove it. It's just taking there, and I'm putting all the leaves on it. So it's all about this stuff. And what I do, I'm just selecting that one, need you, and I'm moving that to that layer. So it's right there. So we have these original leaves, and I started just with this, and I copied. That was the wrong button. Shifty, and rotating it a bit one more time. It looks like this, and it should be there. So this is the basic, and putting that in the right direction. You can make it a bit bigger. I started right there, but you have to study your own plant, because this is mine. I watch it for hours, think, oh, well, how are you reacting, how are you doing? So, and then to go put all these leaves, I'm not doing that every single one in their own. I'm just copying this one, rotate it a bit, and then going up, make it a bit smaller, rotate it, and that's how you're doing every time. So copy it, turn it a bit, go up, rotate it, maybe a bit smaller, because how more up you go, and there you go. This is really fast. So what I say, spend time on what's your plan. That's all it is about. And on the top it was really weird. There was these things where reacting different. But yeah, this is how you create a plant. It's not really hard. But important thing is, how do you create one of these? That's so this is pretty easy. Just make a plane and make it a bit. But these other things is what I do. Yeah, just be structured, Rob. Structure. Explain how you do that. I'm opening it. There you are. And go away. Add mesh plane. And I'm scaling that a bit. A bit more. Right, there you go. That's it. Creating some loops in it. One in the middle. No, what you can do is put them more together. And now I'm using a lot of vertices, but maybe 3 loops will do. But yeah. Whoops. I should activate this panel. Oh, now Blender is crashing. How cool is that? How cool. Every time when I make a tutorial, Blender will crash. I'm really frustrated. I shouldn't do that. Not be frustrated. Life is good. Life is happy. Alright, that's not cool. Whew. Anyway, so yeah, it was that plane I was telling you about, and activate this panel. Maybe someone should spend a bit time on it why Blender is crashing when activating that button, because it's not really fun. Because now my scene where I created these windows are gone. I don't like. Right, there you are. Pretty good. So this is how I created these leaves. Wow. And one loop in the middle, and that's for the depth, and just not really crazy, just like this is too much. Like this, make it smooth. And the material in this one is important. And why it's important? Because there's a lot of stuff going on, not in this one, but in this one. So what is this all about? Of course, you start with the diffuse one, and combine it with a glossy. Do it with a mix shader, no edge shader, because you're not using transparent or translucency. That's later on. Yeah, give that value of 0.05. That's the maximum, I think. When I tried 0.1, and then it was like a mirror leaf. You don't want that. So 0.5, 0.05, and maybe 0.04, 3, maybe 6. I don't know. Make this transparent one. Combine it with the alpha one to make it a transparent leaf. And then for the transparent leaf, I made this tree. This is the one I already showed you, what you use for gloss, transparency for absorption. But you can also use that for a translucent one. Yeah, if you want to know this, watch the tutorial creating an office, or I explain that, or go to Blender Diplom, we'll spend a very nice tutorial on this. Material absorption, I really like that. So I'm using that in a lot of material, especially when things need to be absorption light. Anyway, yeah, this is how it works. It's a really dark color, so there's almost no transpiration or light coming, but just a little bit. So when we zoom in, and then we're done with this, because you know how to create plants. It's not really hard. And oh, that's not showing up. But yeah, there's definitely a texture on. So at the end, you have a nice plant. It looks like this. This is just another variation of, I used this one. So yeah, it's all about the texture. If you don't have the texture, it's really hard, because yeah, you can imagine how to do it right then. And this mod material is from CG Textures, so it's not free, sorry. Maybe I should make... Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a mod tutorial very soon. I already got the stuff, textures, everything. So then the mod is for free, but for now I'm still using this one. Alright, so I'm opening my old scene. Where is it? It's right there. So how much do we have? Oh, enough, so we can spend a lot of time on other things. So the plants, the curtains, and which you can see there's a lot of electronic stuff, television, speakers, and there's a sound system right there. A lot of stuff what makes your room looks, yeah, way better than just there. Oh yeah, there's also a canvas on the wall. I'm not gonna spend time on that one. It was the most easy thing. It was a cube, made it small. Subdivision server was to make these nice looking smooth. I didn't project image on it like this, but just to the side. So I also put a texture on this one. That's just normally with a canvas. So we go to the final. This is, by the way, my old picture. It looks pretty. Yeah, so we have this image on the sides, and it's not just, you have to put it right there. Then you think, oh yeah, that's a canvas painting, but it's really ugly. Why did you put it there? Because I didn't have any other image. Right. Yeah. Anyway, the electronics. So I'm gonna spend time on how I created that speaker. Maybe right there. Ooh. Top one. We're gonna analyze the speaker. What is it? What do we have to do to create a speaker? Wow. Yeah, I had a very nice image on Google like this. When you create electronics like speakers or other stuff like PlayStation or Xbox, you should look for an image that looks like this. So you have a front image and something in the side, so you can project it to the side. If you only have this one from this side, you get problems when you want to yeah, put the image. So if you have something like this is great. You can do everything and make it totally photorealistic in just a couple of steps, because maybe it looks a bit weird, strange. It was really easy to do. I'm showing you, and I have to open it. Where is it? There. I'm going to scale it a bit, so putting it inside that. So I start with creating a cube, and I made holes in it. That was the where I started. Where oh, it's this side. Nice. All right, so I have to turn it, or else we have some problems. I have problems with explanation. So yeah, I started with this one, creating holes, and the holes was really just creating a cylinder. There we are. Made that looks in the middle like that, and then it's you're scaling that a bit, and these circles are overlapping each other, so you can do that the same. At the top it's just flat, so I grab this one and put it downwards. Oh, downwards. Oh, everything. There you go. Whoop, and scale that. Oh, scale that a bit. So yeah, that's how I create that one, and I create these little holes right there. That's how I rolled. I'm removing it, and in the end you have this nice. And I'm doing that by the boolean and using the difference option, like you see boolean difference. Yeah, what I did with the window frames. You can watch that. And then all these things, I didn't create the screws because they were too little, but I created these holes. I thought that was important. This little things, just put something in it. But yeah, this thing I start with a circle, and I rotated that one, made it a bit bigger, like this. Yeah, you know what to do. Don't do anything right there. That's later on, and make it the right shape. Till there nothing happened, but then you do it again. Just a bit. Put it inwards. One bit, and put it inwards. And this one is getting really, really inside. You can do one more. So make it smooth, and we have that normal problem. Selecting everything, Control N. Oh, I should activate my buttons. Why is it not activated? Ah, it's crashing again. It's the second time. That button is really, really frustrating. So yeah, I keep it short with the speaker, because else I'm spending hours on it. What I do is selecting it to the other layer, then I just keep it simple. About texturing it, I don't know, I should say it to somebody. It's always crashing, and I'm doing it always. And now I'm activating. Right, now it's working. I think almost in every tutorial it's crashing. Oh my god. So yeah, then I created this round beagle thing right there. Oh, there you are. This one, and that's just by add a curve and a circle. Looks pretty nice when you do it. You have this curve, and then you go to right. That's a good thing. That's whoa. Make that full. Make it more resolution, and you have that circle. Yeah, and you can put more depth in it. More, yeah, just how you do it. So that's how I create that circle. Yeah, this is just with the circle I created and then extruding it to the inside. What I did with this part. And oh yeah, by the way, I have to go to that side. To cut it off, I use the boolean, and that's it. So create a cube, put it right there, and then cut it off, and that's it. That's pretty easy. And this is a sphere. Yeah, sphere. Then you have that box. That's pretty nice. And what does that? Yeah, I'm just opening the background image again. Background image. Where are you? Right there. Where? Oh, there. Yeah. And I should rotate it because now I'm looking into the back. I don't want that. So texturing was just selecting this one, UV project from view, and then I pasted on it. It was just like this. This is how I did. The sides was using that picture, and the technical parts are, yeah, you know the stuff. It's just putting it on, and it looks pretty nice. So I believe that. So in the final image, we have these boxes, and there was some depth in it. And when you come closer, you will see why you use all these details. Because maybe you come away with just creating a cube and projecting it on, but if you want to use other angles in your scene, you are very happy you are in detail. Yeah, that's how I created this box. I'm removing that and go back to the original thing. So yeah, I'm not gonna spend time on the television because yeah, it was the same with the boxes. It was pretty easy to do. Sound system, same idea as the speaker. This table, yeah, well, it's the same as that table, but yeah, I'm gonna explain how I created that one, because I think there are some interesting parts in it. Moving it to this layer. So what I wanted to do is creating some furniture, and I looked on the internet and two nice pieces. So and I found this one. I thought, yeah, that will integrate in my scene. But this was these S pieces. It looks like an S. Oh, and I see I forgot these. Great. Oh, I really like it. Anyway, in creating that is I used the curve, Bezier curve. And of course it's flat. You have to go to the top view. Yeah, and it's just, you have to create an S. I'm doing this really quick because if you spend time on it, you know what to do. If you have that S like this, we're done. But in the end, you have not just is straight and not like this. I extruded it a bit like this. I should zoom in a bit, and then put more depth in it. Made it full. Yeah, like this. A bit more resolution, more depth. It's a bit thicker. A bit more of these, so it's great. And that's it. And then I go to the object, convert to mesh. And I always remove the doubles because 292, that's a lot. Texturing this one was I can show you. UV unmapped it, and I have this texture from CD Textures. It's not the best one because there are way better one, but this was a very difficult shape, and in the end, because it's far away in the scene, it looks believable. But yeah, you can see the duplication of this texture. It's not pretty good, but yeah, it's far away, and it's covered with these boxes and a television, and this furniture works. Then we have these glass plates. I can go there. Selecting it, it's just a cube, and I made it a bit smoother by the subdivision surface. Did I? Yeah. And in the node editor, I use this gloss node tree. Yeah, what I used before. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And that's the same for this table, what we see right there. It's all about, oh, it's in this one. Choose some original. What I do is just go to Google, type in table or couch or anything you want to have, and then it's giving you a lot of samples. And I'm now looking for the table, and oh, here, this was my basic. So I thought, yeah, this is what I'm gonna create, and I ended up with, where is the scene? There it is. With this one, it's different. It's more brighter. The texture is duplicated, what's not good at all. But yeah, that's what happened. So the couch. So I'm switching. I think one of the last parts of this tutorial, and then I switch into the lighting. Removing this wind generator. Creating the couch, it's the same for the electronics. Look for a very good texture. And I found this one. I thought, yeah, this is straight from the front. I didn't have any from the side, but I had some little tricks to put something on the sides to cover it up. So when we put this in a one to analyze the couch, so maybe you want to create one, but you don't like this one, and you think, how can I create things like that? So to be honest, it's not really well modeled, as this one is still having that UV problem. Yes, Control N, it's gone. So you can see it's fixed. I didn't have any texture, but what I did when I go to the UV, you can see I'm very, I just put it right there, and then it's covering, and you won't see the big difference. You can see some here, but in the end of the scene, these pillows, what I do is just I'm starting with a cube, and I should put the background image, and then you can see way better what I mean. This one. So creating a couch, add mesh cube, so like this. Of course, this is a really straight shape, making that a bit smaller. So yeah, something like this. Yeah, of course I'm using this one, really important right now. So now you have to, don't do it like this. This is like this. Oh, another time. Yeah, you can, this is enough. This one you can go really right there, and that's it. Yeah, maybe one in the middle for, yeah, but it's not really have a function. And then we apply it, we select that and just and just do something like this, and same for that one. You can see what I do. Let's try to, then I have that pillow looking thing. This is too much, this is way too much. It should be believable. So make that smooth. Yeah, the reason I'm making these loops is that I want these knocks in the middle. Oh, turn off. Oh, it's like this, and it should be everywhere the same. This is not really the best in my career. Like this, and then I'm selecting that one, When you have more, oh, we should put some of that one there. Again, that is, yeah. But you should do this more with more details and just put them in. That's what I did. But yeah, use more vertices or details. As you can see, when I'm selecting this one, way more, and that works. This little detail. But yeah, that's kind of and you can see this all little cubes, and it's really easy textured when you go to the UV image editor, because it just put it right there. It's UV projected. Same for these ones. It's very. That's just how you can do. Yeah, you can make your own texture and spend a lot of time on it. But yeah, this works out. The question, you can put some question marks on no, if it is really believable. But yeah, if you put it far away, you come away with it. Whereas if these shadows are very important, like there, so yeah, play with that. So that is the couch. It was really quick, the explanation. You can see the back is not believable at all, but you won't see it. And these things are, I think it didn't even just make it black with a little bit gloss, so it's reflecting a bit. And it works, and you have a couch. So it's all about the texture you're using. If you have a very good image, yeah, you are 50% and the rest is for yourself. If you have a bad image from the side view, I don't have a picture yet, but then you have a problem. Yeah, so that's pretty much it's about all the furniture, the plans, electricity. The last thing to explain is about the environment, and that's a complicated thing. That's not really complicated. These planes are emission, and I give that a value of 5. So I put a texture on it, like this. Whereas this is the skyline of Amsterdam, and in the final image you can see that. But there are a couple of things going on. You can see this plant is blending with the background. Same for this bar. There's some blurry stuff, and that was some head-breaking things. So what I did, I put them in another layer, number 4, and in this scene thing, I made a new one, call it window. This is around this is a window. Sorry for sometimes I forget it. I'm activating number 4, and I deselect number 4 in my normal scene layer. So deselecting and activating number 4 is separate one. And if I go to the node, the problem is I don't have an image right there now. It's really problematic to explain things, but I have to wait 2 hours for a new image, and that's pretty problematic. So you can see this is my window render, and this is my normal scene. So I'm mixing these two together. What you have your scene and your image, and then it looks like you have a scene. It looks like this, but you don't have these blending. So you have to put something in the background, but it's not blending together. And what I did was creating an invert node, so you make your scene black and white. So the alpha, so these windows, what makes it alpha, is white, and the scene is black. And then you're blurring it, and yeah, I should explain this way better. Yeah, then it's blending over it, and you're mixing it together, and then you have this. But I'm explaining this in the lake tutorial. So if you want to know exactly, or it was the office building, I'm going into that and telling you what's that with the invert node. It's a really important thing, because when you don't do it, and a lot of people don't do it, I don't know why, it looks really flat, like it's not like the background is in the room, and that's really important. You can see it's working with the background right there. So yeah, that's the compositing. So there's nothing really going on there. I'm not using, and you just color balance. It's all up to you. You can make your own style. Lens distortion, just 0.01. Making these corners integrating better. But yeah, it's not really necessary, and that's it. So you can see I'm not really a compositor. I'm just using the most important things, like this invert is important. If you don't use it, your scene looks really bad. You don't want that. So for more details, go to the office exterior render. So you can go into there. There's more going on. I have this sun lamp, and give that a value of 6, and the shadow, or it means the size value, is 0.02. And the reason is that I want to create sharp shadows. And if I remove the sun lamp, it's not that my image looks fake, but the emission planes created really bad shadows. It was totally not believable. So what I did, I created the sun lamp for the shadow, so it's an external sunlight, and then these shadows are creating what is looking pretty good. If I use a value of 0.1 and not 0.02, then these are blurry shadows. So I played a lot with it, and it works out. So you should put it right there for nice faking shadows. Yeah, using a sky background with a 0.5 for the blue tint in it, and you will see that everywhere, like here and there. It's necessary. Or use HDRI image, but I'm not using that. think it's a bit too complicated for right now. There's more, like the lights in the roof, and in this version I should remove this part because it doesn't have any function. So now we can see there are some holes in the roof. I put a light in it, and you can see this gives a really nice effect on the ground. Especially for this painting, I created an extra hole with a light in it, because if I'm not doing it, the painting looks very dark, and there was a dark wall because there was not really light coming. Light's coming from the window, but not here on the wall. So putting there a light makes it looks way better. I tried to make these shadows also a bit sharper by made at 0.1, but then there was a lot of fireflies in my scene, and this is the white dots would appear when you're rendering. So I put them back to 1, and then they were gone. I don't know why that is. So I really hate fireflies. It's everywhere white dots. So gloss is really ruining your scene. Yeah, that's what happened. So if I think that's pretty much it in this scene, and I put everything in it. So yeah, we have these this emission light. There's no light coming from this side, but keep it open as much as possible. There's still too much stuff in the scene because this roof I could remove it. The reason why is that I was playing with some angles like this and this and this, actually that one. So, and at the end I had like this. So yeah, that's the reason I didn't remove it. But how more you remove, how less samples you need. And I used 800, and I think I should use around 2000, because yeah, to be honest, this render is still a bit yeah, you can see the noise, and this you can avoid it by using more samples. Yeah, especially here, it's not still not really good. But yeah, make your scene open, don't close it because it looks horrible. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think going to end this tutorial. I have a very nice texture pack. I'm only including my own textures in it, so don't be afraid they are illegal. And last time there was somebody said, yeah, can I use them? This is someone from CD Textures. It was a very good one. So all the textures you download, you can use them. There's no license on it, so it's open, it's free, it's good. Yeah. And maybe you want to visit my Facebook page with new information, or go to my YouTube page, subscribe it. More people, the better it is, of course, and I can make more tutorials. Yeah, okay. Well, I hope you like it. Of course, this blend file is also free, so download it if you want, play with it, make your own variation. Alright, that's pretty much it. See you later in the next tutorial.